Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet, your Tarot Fairy Godmother. It's Thursday. That means it's time for the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter Recap. The Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter comes into your inbox every Wednesday. If you're not receiving it, you can just go to the link in the description to subscribe and to read this issue, and every issue is archived on my website, so you can catch up with that. So I do a different topic every week. This week's topic is, when can you trust yourself? Because, the thing is, we all know, there's imposter syndrome. There's the fact that, we don't trust ourselves enough. And we have to learn to trust ourselves more. But you cannot sort of say, okay, I'm going to trust myself until you unpack the false narratives that are untrustworthy, and I notice, and I see this a lot in the work that I do, that people have these very solid beliefs about themselves, about their history, about their family, about who they are or how they are in life that don't really play out. And when you can unpack that and let that go, that's when you can really trust yourself, right? So how we unpack these things. So the deck I'm working with today is Morgan Greer, the mini one from the tin. Used it for class last night. It's still here. If you missed class last night, check the replay. Your tarot scopes for June will be up soon. And if you happen to be local, join us at our tarot meetup this coming Sunday, 4 p.m. at Panera Bread. And also, I will be doing one of my quarterly classes at the library, Mandel Library, on June 10th, Saturday, June 10th at noon, downtown West Palm Beach. And of course, wherever you are in the world, StarCon tickets are available, on sale, available, ready for you, whether you want to join us in person or online. And thank you so much for the kind words. Jackie Masters, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Love the newsletter and yesterday's class. Thanks so much. PLJ, thanks for being a member. As always, love the newsletter. Thank you. Claire C., thanks for being a member. Because my mother raised me to always see the best in people, I seem to attract people that took advantage. Right, got it. I see the question there. Very good. Makes sense. Makes sense, and I will get to all the questions. Let's do that right now. All right. Starting with first person I see is Caroline McLaughlin. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being here, and thanks for using members-only emojis. I would like to ask, what is the untruth I tell myself that holds me back from being my best self? I think you tell yourself an untruth having to do with your basic self-worth, having to do with your basic value. I think there's a part of you that wants to demonstrate your value by being helpful. And it's good to be helpful, and if you can be helpful, you should. But you don't need to be obviously and intentionally helpful every minute of the day to every person to earn their respect or their trust or their love. Just showing up is enough. Does that make sense? Smile Soul 20, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. The next question I see is from Jeannie Mnuchin. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Someone in my playwright group doesn't like my play. Ouch. I'm fixated on that and feel shame. What inner work could I do to reaffirm my self-worth? Should I address this with her or work on confidence? Why is my sense of creative truth and self-worth so easily knocked? Wow, okay, so here we go. So where do we want to start with this one, Jeannie? So why is your sense of creative truth and self-worth so easily knocked? That's a great question. And I think it's because, you are an interesting combination where you have a very clear message that is a bit unusual. You are definitely your own brand, but you really want to fit in. And so it's hard, like that's hard. I think that's why it is. You know, it's the being unique but wanting to fit in. And the only way to fit in when you're unique is to be like kind of over the top about who you are. And you don't have that over the top personality. That's not your natural way. And that's where your theater work is so important, because that's where you're over the top, where you should be, right? Because that's what theater is. It's an exaggeration of things. So the person in the playwright group who doesn't like your play is never going to like it because of the type of play it is, because of everything about it. This is the type of play. Like, this person is never going to be able to tell you that this is or is not a quality work, because this person doesn't like the genre. And so it's a genre problem, and that's what you need to recognize. This is a specific genre. And I feel like this person is not, you know. So know that. And what inner work can you do to reaffirm your self-worth? I think just stay strong in who you are and what you're doing. Should you address this with her? I mean, if you think she has constructive criticism, sure, but I think she just doesn't like the genre. You can't fix that. All right. Julie, any advice for me about my self-trust? And, you know, the answer is this. You have had a lot of difficulty, a lot of trauma, a lot of things not go your way. And I think you have to process that and heal that in order to be in a place of being able to trust yourself. And I have to say a big thank you to Caroline McLaughlin, not only for being a member, but for the very generous and kind super sticker. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Super chats and super stickers are a really important way that you can show your support for this broadcast. Thank you so much for that, Caroline. Really appreciate it. Okay, Melissa Grosso, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Thanks for using members-only emojis. I was trained from childhood to trust the opinions of others over my own intuition. How can I trust myself more? And just by recognizing that training, that's a huge help right away. And I think it's in recognizing that you have, like, it's not even conscious. You have a pattern of, okay, you may have an intuition about something, but then you'll go to, well, what does someone else say? And it's a pattern. Inside, internal, not conscious. Bring that to consciousness. Bring that pattern to consciousness, because then you can change it. And don't have shame about the pattern. Just say, there it is. There's that pattern. And then change it. That's what you have to do. Bring it to consciousness. Martha, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. What is the biggest false narrative I hold about myself, and how do I release or address it? Great question. I think it's really sort of core level, recognizing your beauty, your strength, your value, like recognizing what it is you bring to the table in a very big and real way. I think you don't always see it. I think you see yourself as less than. And how do you release it? You have to recognize you're not less, you're more. And recognize that. Peggy Lou Levens, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members-only emojis. I love Caroline's question. What untruths do I tell myself that hold me back? So for you, Peggy Lou, I think you take sort of the very real problems historically and currently that are there, that are real. But because you haven't found a way to fix it, I think you tell yourself a story that it's not fixable. And maybe some of it isn't fixable, but I think some of it could be. Allie Mammon, nice to see you. What are my core strengths in my personality or skill set that I can always rely on in my darkest times to guide and guard me from myself and temptations? Fair. So that part of yourself that you can always trust. I think you can always trust yourself to be able to come to a place of intuition. So I think there's intuition. I think there's ability to be silent, to stay away from gossip, to just kind of be self-contained. So it's your strength. It's your standard of excellence. Standard of excellence, self-containment, a certain amount of personal balance, and intuition. Justine, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. What is the most damaging false belief I hold about myself that was ingrained through my upbringing? I think the idea that you're supposed to be a certain way, and if you're not that way, you're not okay. So some box that you're supposed to fit into, which didn't give you enough room to be everything that you are. I'm also wondering what type of third-party processing I might look into to help me fully unpack all of these sensitive pain points, something like hypnotherapy. I feel like you're doing it anyway. Regular therapy is never really a problem if you can find a good therapist. But I would say you are actively on the path of doing this already. All right, next question. Baby Cakes, what should I do to not take others' truths or truths about me personally? Oh, how can I shield myself better from others' opinions? That's so important. Like, I forget who it is. It was like a really famous, important person who said that other people's opinions of you are none of your business. And I think that's really what you're saying, and that's really wise. That's so wise, so wise, so wise. So what to do about that? I think the more that, like, what was that thing? It was going around on Instagram a couple of years ago. Today I love me. So your like is extra, Like the more that you can just be really solid in yourself and who you are and love yourself and know yourself and appreciate yourself, then you'll know, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You're not going to be a flavor for everyone. And so the more that you know yourself and accept yourself, the more that you can accept that you're not for everyone and everyone is not for you. That's the other thing. You don't like everybody in the world, so why should everybody like you? So, that kind of thing. And to shield yourself from others' opinions, they get in from time to time. I think you have to shield yourself from the hurt of it, and that's the way to do it, is to just love you more. Selma, nice to see you. What is holding back my work drive? I think you've got some stuff, Selma, in your personal life that isn't straightened out, that's making you sad. And so it's hard for you to do what you need to do because of that. That's what I think it is. Lydia, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. My mom goes to a tarot reader that I feel is fake, but it still makes me feel really anxious. She keeps predicting relationship failures for me. When I got my first boyfriend, my mom kept telling me that the lady said that we would break up. I heard that since we begun dating and we lasted 5 years, but that kept bugging me and made me feel anxious through the relationship. Now the lady says the same thing about my current boyfriend, and I get really paranoid that she's right or something. I know I should trust myself and my decisions more, but it gets to me easily. So I'd just like to know if this lady is telling the truth or if she's just saying what my mom would like to hear and I should trust myself more. And I want to address that in an entirely different way. The problem here is your mother. The problem here is your mother. It doesn't matter, what this reader sees or doesn't see. You've been with me long enough to know that my truth on this is that relationships are unpredictable to begin with. And the fact that your mother has these opinions about your love life in this way and uses a reader to torture you and torment you with this, that's the problem here as I see it. And your false narrative here is you're kind of making that okay, like that's just what mothers do. No, I'm sorry. That's not what mothers do. So my feeling is you need to have a better boundaries with your mother. So, I'm not going to do a reading on whether you and your boyfriend will break up because that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is your mother's being abusive to you. And I'm sure that's not helping you, and I'm sure that's not helping your relationship. And even worse, your mother is using tarot to abuse you. That's what I see. So, Lydia's like, absolutely. I had so many fights with her about this. I was only a teenager and she kept telling me. I got so sad. So I think the real thing we have to look at here, if you don't mind, Lydia, the real thing we have to look at is what can you do to have better boundaries with your mother so that you can hear your own truth and your own intuition rather than her. Clearly, she has an issue. Clearly, this is a her problem, not a you problem, but it is abusive of you. And you're allowing it. And you're a grown-up now. So, I think what you have to do, and this has been with you since you were a child. This is huge, big, important healing. You have to recognize that for whatever reason, your mother has had an agenda different than what the agenda of a mother normally is. And it's probably not her fault, and it's probably not personal. None of that. It's probably her own issues. It's probably how she was raised or something going on with her. So you have to forgive it, but you have to recognize it and recognize that you have to unpack all of that and sort of reparent yourself. And in dealing with her, I don't think you should give audience to it. I think I think at this point in life, she needs you more than you need her. And so I think you just need to end the conversation and not let her speak with you if she's going to say things that are intended to upset you. So that's what I have to say about all that. I realize it's off topic of what you asked for, but I think it's the real issue. Lydia, she's the main theme of my therapy sessions for the last 7 years, and it's still so difficult. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, keep working on it. Okay, let's see, here we go. Okay, Madiha Ness, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Everything seems odd since I've come back. Health scares back home. Hopefully things getting better. Work feels off, not my performance, but others, not trusting someone at work. Is there some sabotage going on? What should I do? Speaking of trust, I'm all paranoid. Oh, and thanks for catching up on the class. Glad you like it. Okay, good. So what's going on here? At work, is someone sabotaging? Probably not intentional, but stupidly. I think there's a lot of stupid going on right now. And this general sense of things being off for you specifically, I think you just have to give it time. I think there's a lot of different reasons for this. But right now, I just think there's a lot of stupid going on around you, and you have to resist succumbing to the stupid. I know that sounds terrible, but I think that's just how it is. I just feel like, especially at work, people are all wearing their stupid hats right now, and they don't realize it. So don't take it personally, and recognize that in time it will probably get better. Okay. Kristen Louise, so nice to see you. I've been voted to be my pagan community's leader. Congratulations. Will I fail at this? That's an interesting way to put it. What kind of leader will I be? I have lacked tenacity most of my life. I fear my faults will negatively affect my leadership. So let's look at why they voted you in. Why did they choose you? They chose you. Why did they choose you? Well, first of all, they chose you because they think you're smart and they think you have leadership qualities. So either, like one of two things is true, right? Either all the people in your group, in your community, in your coven, whatever it is, all the people in your group are stupid or they're correct. And if you're in this group and have agreed to lead it and want to do a good job, I have to believe that you do not believe that the people that chose you are stupid. So I think this is all about logic. I think you have to get logic in here and recognize that they see you this way. They see your intelligence, your integrity, your leadership. So who are you going to believe here? That's what I have to say. Hi, Claire C., your newsletter really hit home with me. Thank you. I'm so glad. You know, that newsletter is like the bane of my existence. I have to tell you, having to come up with a new topic every week is like a craziness. But when I hear things like that, then I know it's the right thing for me to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. PL Day, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Is there a false truth holding you back spiritually? You know, I've got to believe that we all have false truths holding us back spiritually because that's like the nature of it. Medea, stupid is the correct term. I think it's like planetary right now. Astrologers, tell me, is there something going on astrologically that's making us all stupid right now? Which planets are making us stupid? That's what I want to know. All right. PL Day, is there a false truth holding me back spiritually? And as I said, I think we all have that. We really do. But looking at you specifically, is there something in your belief set that you're holding as truth that is actually false, that is holding you back spiritually? I mean, I think you're doing a good job trying to really vet everything you believe and unpack it. So there's probably something in there, but I think you're doing a good process of looking at, what are the things I believe? Why do I believe it? Is it helping me to believe this? How do I practice it? I think you're really trying to be very conscious and critical here. So I think you're in the process. '64, Amy Penn, nice to see you. So today we're talking about trust stuff, and the question is, what's going on in your job? There can always be trust issues there. What I look at here is, I feel like there's some decisions being made that could impact you, and I think you can see that happening. So I feel like there is reason for concern. I do have to say that. There are decisions being made that could make a change in your trajectory. Okay. Oh, Ben, you're drawing tarot flow charts. That's so cool. I'm so glad. That makes me so happy. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. And thanks for using members-only emojis, Ben. Teresa, astrologer has come with an answer. Mercury has just left the shadow. Stupidity shall dissipate just yesterday. Okay, good. So it's happening. Okay, good. Now we know. It's Mercury making us stupid. All right. So Ben, Libra does tarot. Your question, Caroline's question, what truths do I tell myself that hold me back? I think, Ben, you tell yourself that if something's going to go wrong, it's probably going to go wrong for you. You know, like I feel like your name is Murphy and you are living Murphy's Law. And I feel like you don't believe in your own resilience and your own ability to get ahead of whatever bad luck is going to be dealt you. You know, so I think you have a belief that bad luck is going to be there, and it's there for all of us, but that you don't necessarily have the resilience to get ahead, and you do. Does that make sense? Oh, so Amy Penn, 64 Amy Penn, you know, that's an even better question about trust. Why can't I be successful in a job? And is that really the story? I mean, I think you have been successful in many jobs. I think you are more of a project person. I think you're more of a project person. And so job is harder than project. And so I think that's something to think about. Betty Flesher, so nice to see you. Thanks for being a member. And thanks for using members only emojis. And you've been practicing the flow chart too, and you're loving it. That's so great. What am I telling myself to cause self-doubt? What a great question. I think you are actively trying not to. I think you have really, really been working on it, and your good work is showing. So just keep on doing your good work. You are trying so hard and so well to get out of self-doubt. If you had asked this question 2 years ago, I'd have a laundry list for you. But I think you're doing the work. Hey, Wooju. Sorry, I was so good at this before. Wooju, did I get it right? Wooju? Tell me if I get it wrong. You got to train me. And once I'm trained, I'm good. Thank you for being here, and thank you for becoming a member. Really, really appreciate that. There's a whole folder, a members only folder. I hope that you go there and enjoy that. I'm so happy to see you. And again, thank you for becoming a member. And you became a member at a higher level, so I really appreciate that. And here's your question. I constantly worry about unintentionally hurting someone with my words whenever I engage with people outside my comfort zone. And I want to know how I can maintain my inner strength. So that's such an interesting thing. I mean, and it's not bad that you don't want to hurt people, but you do need to speak truth. So, oh, good, I got it right. Okay, good. Good, thank you. I have a name that's really hard for people. Both my first name and my last name, people get it wrong all the time. So I'm sensitive to trying to get it right for other people. So first of all, maintaining strength and confidence in terms of engaging with people outside of your comfort zone. The thing is, you are naturally a friendly person. You're not a hurtful person. You're not a person who's going to go around intentionally trying to hurt people. You're naturally friendly, and you like to be friendly, and you like to be helpful. So if you bring your authentic self to people, most of the time, it's going to go very well. Now, if there is something that unintentionally causes harm, and it would only ever be unintentional, if there is something that unintentionally causes harm, and that's the thing, it's happened before, that you have said something meaning it in one way and it has caused harm and it's hurt people. You have trauma where this is concerned. You have to look at that trauma and unpack that trauma, but you cannot let that trauma keep you from making friends and interacting with people. And I think the trauma that you had there was not your fault. I have to say that too. Some people are just going to be dicks and there's nothing you can do about it. So if someone intentionally misunderstands you and intentionally won't accept your apology and won't hear you, that's on them, not you. There's that too. All right, let me know how that goes. Okay, Jackie Masters. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member here. Oh, hang on, just over scrolled. Hang on, give me a minute. What false narrative was told to me that I've accepted as my truth? How has this affected my life, and how do I break it down to discover my own truth? I feel this is holding me back. When I step out of line and not following the narrative, it causes problems. All right, so what false narrative was told to you that you have accepted as truth? I think the idea that you cannot expect good things. I think there is some narrative in your life that is always preparing for bad things to happen. And I mean, it's good to be prepared in case of an emergency, and it's good to be careful. But I think you are kind of raised to always look for the problem and never look for the good thing. And that has skewed you a little. Does that make sense? Okay. Hey, Liz Moore, nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay. DH, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member. So this is a fun question about trust. You met someone last week. We've gone out once. He asked you out again. Can we trust him? Can we trust this? I mean, what is this? This is good. There's a lot to unpack here. If I had to call it right now, I don't think it's harmful to go out with them and see what's up. But there's a lot of layers here, and he's definitely on best behavior. This may not be the right one, but I don't see any reason to let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think you can trust this person enough, to go on some dates and see where it goes, but trust yourself as well. And if it feels off to you at any point, there's enough here to say it could be off. But not in a dangerous way, just in a maybe not compatible way. Okay, Teresa, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. It's all about trusting yourself today. Joyous Ocean, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. Resist succumbing to the stupid. I'm going to have to quote that. Yeah, put it in the book of Tarot Fairy Godmother quotes. Seriously. Jenny, nice to see you. This newsletter really hit home. As someone with mental health issues, it is so hard to trust myself in my own mind. What false narratives should I work on deconstructing? So hard, yeah. Right, because if it's a mental health issue, your mind will tell you things that you can't trust. And the key is you're going to have to learn. Okay, whatever the diagnosis is, let's say it's anxiety, and maybe there's multiple. Maybe there's anxiety, depression, whatever. But whatever that voice is it your anxiety talking or is it truth? Is it your depression talking or is it truth? You have to learn to identify the voices of the mental illness so you learn not to listen to them. That's the key. What false narrative should you work on deconstructing? The idea that because you have mental illness, you will never be successful, never be happy, and never have a good luck. Never have good luck, never have a good life. That's what I meant to say was good life, but luck came out, so, we'll take it. So, I think the false narrative that you have is around what it is to become a happy, successful person who struggles with mental health issues. And I mean, pretty much look at all the successful people and probably a third to a half of them have struggled with mental health issues and are now successful. So it is possible. That's the thing. Did I miss Claire C? I might have done. Thank you, Jeannie. Oh no, I don't think, did I or did I not? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think I've come to her. Oh yes, I did. I did miss Claire C. Thank you. Claire C, thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. This is the one I was looking at before. Because my mother raised me to always see the best in people, I seem to attract people that took advantage. Now, what will give me balance with boundaries? Ooh, I love this question too, Claire. It's a good question. What will give you balance is recognizing that if you set a boundary with a good person is going to be like, okay, cool, I see your boundary and I respect it. Okay, fine, we can work this way. A person who doesn't like your boundary isn't a good person. Or a person who doesn't like your boundary is going to need some time. Maybe they are a good person and they're going to need time. They're going to need time to get used to the boundary. So either they have to grow or they just suck. It's one of two things. So if a person pushes against your boundary, either they have to grow and you give them time or they just suck, and that's okay too, because it's okay for people to suck. So the thing is, what you have to understand when we talk about seeing the good in everyone, and yes, there is good in everyone, but just because someone has good in them doesn't mean that you're not going to set boundaries. You get to set boundaries with every single person in your life, everywhere. You get to do that. You don't owe people anything. You don't owe people a part of yourself. Does that make sense? And good, Claire, thank you for hanging in there. I'm sorry I missed you. And it's funny because I saw you first, right? There it is. Let me know how that struck you, though. Okay, and Jeannie, thank you for that. I love it that this community works together and takes care of one another. I really appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Joyce Ocean, thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members-only emojis. I definitely agree with you on the newsletter. I came up with a great topic today, and I'm supposed to be writing a draft for next week now. It's hard to be new every week, right? I don't know what my question is. Tell me what the cards say around my self-talk and thoughts. Great question. I love it. Yeah, the cards say you bullshit yourself all the time, my friend. And it's always when you're making yourself not feel good and confirming your own internal bias against yourself. So yeah. Basically, be a friend to yourself and don't talk bad about your friends. And like when you're being conscious about it, you're perfect. You do it all the time in a good way, right? You have positive self-talk when you're being conscious about it. But then when you're not being conscious about it, you revert back into some negative self-talk and you don't recognize it as negative self-talk, but it is. I think you recognize it as like honest self-talk or self-improvement. And yes, I mean, we do have to recognize our flaws, but I think you look at things that aren't flaws and think they're flaws. I think. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Quinn, Renata, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I have big issues with confidence. I don't trust myself when it comes to work. I feel like if it's not perfect, I shouldn't even try. I know perfection is impossible, so I end up giving up on things anyway. How can I get rid of that belief? So, here's the thing, man. Perfectionism is a trauma response. If you have that perfectionistic thing, that's a trauma from childhood. Figure out what that is, and you can heal from it. And I understand that completely. I totally get it. So what can you do? I think you have to recognize that this is a thing that came to you in childhood. It was given to you in childhood because of someone else's insecurity. This is like a generational insecurity. I would actually ask the ancestors to remove it from you. So in a conscious way, be conscious that it came to you in childhood, and you can unpack it and think about it and let it go. But spiritually, I'd ask the ancestors to take it away. Peggy Lou, you're on fire today. Thank you. All right. Okay, good. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. I really appreciate it. I don't always read it aloud, but Ben, makes total sense. Good. Liz, great question. What truths do I need to be telling myself? Very good. Okay. What truths do I need to be telling myself? That it's okay not to know all the answers. that you are strong and smart and capable and will figure out everything you need to know in time, and that you can be patient with yourself, and that you are creative. Those things. Oh, I feel like you know me on a spiritual level. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jackie, that makes sense. Very good, very good. Denise Woods, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Oh, Kanchan Verma, thanks for those kind words. Hang on a minute here. Kanchan Verma, you are up next. Just coming back from Renata Quincaharius. My father used to scream and get super mad at me, and my mom, if anything went wrong, even if it wasn't really our fault. Yes. So healing from that, doing magic and meditation and healing to heal from that is what you need. That's where that comes from. It's that. All right. Okay, Kanchan Verma. I would like to know on what areas I put myself in the back seat and don't trust myself. Love to hear that, as I know I often don't trust myself. Okay, so the areas in which you will often not trust yourself: your creativity, your spirituality, your business sense, your planning of the future, and your career choice and your educational choice. Just those few things are areas where you are not fully trusting yourself, and you should. Oh, Claire, thanks for that feedback. Good. Yes, and feedback about boundaries too from Kanchan. Appreciate that. Okay. Okay. D9. How can I better cope with my current circumstances? It's all about healing. It's finding healing, using the current circumstances to help you heal, even though that's difficult. Cheryl Jefferson, nice to see you. I've had many truths revealed to me at my home. What truths do I need to also tell myself to get through the transition? You need to tell yourself that you can, and that it will be okay, and that it's possible, and that you can do it, and that you should do it, and that it will be a great and grand adventure. My friends, I think I've come to the end of the questions. I want to thank you so much. This is a big topic. And thank you for showing up here and being here and bringing your energy here so we can work on this topic together. I think we got some great work done. So if you'd like to go further in the work, I do have openings today, tomorrow, and over the weekend. You can go to my website and book directly on my website, or get ready to take down a phone number. Are you ready? 561-655-1160. Call or text. And we can work on your stuff. You can also find me on social media and reach out, DM me on social media. That's fine too. And I've got this new thing I'm doing on TikTok. Song lyrics as tarot readings. I'm going to do some of them over on Instagram as well. But follow me. Instagram, TikTok, we're going to have some fun. Christiana Gaudet Tarot on TikTok, Christiana Tarot on Instagram. My friends. Medea Ness, today's readings have all been a bit or more for me to take. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot here. So that's, fabulous. Really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all so much. Take good care.